Remember these crazy things? My sock inserts, I'm finally making something with them. So come along as I make a snag-free hidden paper clip and a little adorable Christmas notebook. Hi guys, my name is Emily. Welcome back to Junk Journal Inspirations. So this is the next episode of my Let's Play with Trash series. Maybe I should have called it like Trash to Treasure, or I don't know, but I'm sticking with Let's Play with Trash. So I showed these in my introduction video for this series. These were some inserts that came in socks, actually. I had a funny comment, made me laugh. They look like something else as well, but I'm not going to say it, but you probably know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I came up with two things to do with these. The first one is a snag-free hidden paper clip to go on. I've just got it on a piece of paper here to show you, but it just slips right onto a journal page, and then you can tuck things underneath there or what have you. And I decorated, or I used napkins for this. So yeah, we'll do that. And then also this really cute, again, I used napkins, little notebook. So yeah, it just has some paper inside, and I used eyelets and some ribbon, and I think it is just adorable. So again, you could, you know, put this over a page in a journal. You could just use these as little stocking stuffer gifts. What I'm going to do is I am going to trace around this shape, and I will put a link in the description box so that you can get the template in case you don't have these fun sock inserts. And I'll, you know, I'll just, I don't know, it'll probably be a Google Drive link or something. And then you'll have the shape and you can print it out onto cardstock and make your own. All right, so let's get started. Let's do the hidden paper clip first because it needs some time to dry. So what you need for that is your template or your sock insert, or however you're doing this. And I used my centering ruler to find the center point, and then I just drew a line. And then I used my scoreboard because this is really, really thick, you know, cardstock, whatever you want to call it. So I use my scoreboard to make sure that I, you know, get a good fold. So this is my little mini one that actually fits on my desk. Well, sort of. It's hanging off the ends. And you just, if you're using an actual sock insert, just score it pretty deep so that you can, you know, get the fold. So let's set this aside for now. Okay, and then it's sort of marked through. I don't know if you can see that, but it just gives us a bit of a start, right? And then you just want to fold that over. Now, it's going to crack. It's not going to tear all the way through, but it's going to crack, at least if you're using, you know, an actual sock insert. If you're using cardstock, it's probably not going to, depending on how hard you score it, but yeah, anyway, so there is our base shape for our paper clip. So the next thing we want to do is actually open it back up, and I'm just going to use glue stick. Oops, sorry about that. Just whacked my phone cord. I'm just using glue stick, but I love this napkin, and I think it's absolutely perfect for this because it just kind of perfectly fit on this shape, and I think it's adorable. So I'm just going to make another one exactly the same. So I have my napkin. I have already pulled the backing off, and it's ready to go. It has a fold in the center, which is perfect to sort of line up with my shape. So let me grab my glue stick here. And I am just going to heavily apply my glue all the way. Make sure I get the edges really good. And this crease. So I'm just using the Scotch Create. This is my absolute favorite glue stick. I don't use anything else. I've tried many, many others, and I just like this one best. All right. So I hope you're all doing well. Here in the States, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Not doing anything this year. Nick is working. Tyler is in California. My parents are in Georgia. So it's just Mike and I and the dogs. But we'll have a nice day. All right. Then remove this paper. But the best part of this weekend is it's time to decorate for Christmas, and I'm so excited. All right, I think, how did I do this? Just want to make sure I kind of get it. You know what? I'm going to do it this way. Much easier, probably, to determine where I want to put it. I think here. So yeah, so it's Thanksgiving, and but that means I get to decorate. I get to put up all my Christmas decorations, and yeah, that's like my favorite time of year. This is my favorite time of year. I love, 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 love decorating for Christmas. So just make sure that that is all down, and then if you have like the little textured bits on your napkin, I don't worry about those. I just press them down into the glue, and they usually disappear, at least mostly. So I don't worry about too much about that. I used to, but then I had napkins that, you know, had the pattern down into the textured part, and I didn't like losing all of that. Okay, so now what we do is probably let that dry just a bit, and while that's drying, we can work on the other one. So let that dry for a second. Just set that out of the way. So the other one, we need to mark 2 lines. And the one I did here, I left a 1/4 inch spine, okay? And I'm probably gonna do that again because it works pretty well with the eyelets. So grab my centering ruler again, and pretty simple. Just find the center, which I think is about there. Let me hold this up so I can see without putting my head over it. Okay, so there is our center, okay? So I'm just gonna mark that again like I did before. And I'm gonna draw a line. It's so hard to do this when I guess I really put my head over what I'm doing a lot, and I didn't realize I did that until I started filming. Okay, so now that we have that, we can grab our scoreboard and just line up your line with one of the score lines, okay? And each of these score lines is 1/8 of an inch. So I'm gonna score on 1/8 of an inch to the right of my line. I'm not scoring on my line. I'm scoring 1/8 of an inch to the right. Ooh, that didn't quite work. So 1/8 of an inch to the right and 1/8 of an inch to the left. There we go. It was a little wonky, but it'll be fine because we're gonna cover it up anyway. Okay, so I'll show you. So we have our center line here, and I have 1/8 of an inch to the left and 1/8 of an inch to the right. I think you can kind of see that. There we go. That's better. Okay. And then you just want to fold on those lines. And again, it's probably going to crack. It's not a big deal. So we're going to cover it up. And then on this line. So also this weekend, Saturday, super exciting. It's my video for the Christmas craft, A to Z of Christmas craft collaboration on Saturday. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out when that comes out, because there's some fun surprises in there. So you don't want to miss it. Okay, so once we have it folded, we're going to unfold it again. And this napkin was perfect because it had a right side up and then an upside down. So when I put it on my shape and fold it, it's right side up on both sides. So it's kind of perfect. So that is going to go on the outside. And then this one, I'm going to do on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up and put on some pretty Christmas music, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here is the front, and then I wanted to show you what I do with the napkin once it's dry, but I'm actually going to show you on this one because this one is still drying. So we'll let that sit for a moment. And then this one is all dry. I just love the texture of napkins. I love that kind of rough feel. I think it's fabulous. So I don't put anything over top. So when it's dry, I just I take my napkin and I pull it off, downward. Don't pull this way because you'll probably pull some off, that you don't want off of there. So I just do this and I get as much as I can off. And then after you get all this off of here, I take a sanding block. Just these are super cheap. I actually got this for my husband, but you can get them, at a hardware store. They might even have them at the dollar store. I'm not sure, but they're not expensive. I just keep a few on hand. But anyway, I'm taking it and I'm sanding down, and it'll take off. You can see them kind of flying around here. It'll take off the little bits that you couldn't get by just tearing. and it makes a nice smooth edge for you. You can kind of turn it over and do this kind of thing. Just don't sand, don't take your block and sand this way. You'll tear off part of your napkin. So always go away. Away, is that the right word? Well, you can see what I'm doing. Just, yeah, do it that way and you should be fine. Now, if you feel more comfortable going over this with a layer of Mod Podge, that's totally up to you. I don't like Mod Podge at all. I don't like the feel of it. I don't like the way it dries. Just not my thing. So, you know, if I were going to do it, I would probably just use some collage medium or, you know, something like that. Okay, so there we go. So we have all of the bits off the edges, and it's a nice smooth edge now. Okay, now let me get all of this off of my mat, and we'll continue. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so there we go. Now I am going to just take my archival ink pad and I'm just going to ink up the inside. Now, this isn't going to show a whole lot. I don't like that stark white showing, so that's why I do this. And I use the archival ink, or you could use a StazOn, because this is quite glossy, the finish on these. But if you're just printing this off onto cardstock, you could just use Distress ink or whatever to do this. But the StazOn and the archival just stick better onto glossy surfaces, in my opinion anyway. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to take my Distress ink on the outside here. So I'll ink around this, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have it all inked up. Now, we still have a crack here. So what I did on the other one is I used some gold washi tape, and that takes care of that. So how I do that is I use glue with my washi tape because I don't trust that it will stay sticky forever. So I put a line of glue right over the cracked part, and then this is kind of wide, so I just kind of eyeball, you know, and then just try and center it the best you can on that crease, and you can kind of see it and feel it through the tape, so you'll know you got it good. All right, and then let me just pull that off there. Okay, and then just to give it some more, you know, sturdiness, I'm going to go ahead and fold in, I'm just folding in my ends, and I'm just pulling it tight so it kind of moves with the curve here. Okay, and then same thing here. Okay. Now that is going to need to dry before I can fold it. So I will set that aside and we'll move on to the next part of our notebook. Where did I put that? Oh, okay. Actually, let me cut away and I'll get this all prepped and inked and, you know, take all the napkin off and then we'll continue. All right, so here's what we have now. I have it all inked up. Super cute, right? Here's what it looks like. Now, let's see which side do I want? It doesn't really matter, I guess. I don't really have to figure that out. I was going to figure out which side I wanted to be the front, but I don't think it matters, actually. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is mark your holes. So I have, I've taken some of this old notebook paper that I have. But you can use anything. I wanted to say, too, if you don't have napkins, you can use whatever you want. You could paint these. You could use paper, fabric. There are so many possibilities. This is just what I'm doing because it works with the project that I am working on. So do whatever works for you. Whatever you know, use what you have. You don't have to go and buy anything. You know, use what you have. It's totally cool. So just get some paper, cut it to size. These are, I probably should have said that in the beginning. And when you print them, if you print out the template, I can't guarantee that they'll be exactly the same size because all printers are different depending on the settings you use and that kind of thing. But they're approximately 8.5. And then at the narrowest part, they're 2.5. So I cut my papers approximately because I didn't want them, okay, let me explain better. I don't want them hanging out too far, right? So I cut them, let me grab one and that'll probably be easier. And they're different widths, but approximately 6 inches long. So folded in half, that would be 3 and no wider than 2.25. That's what I did. Some of them are a little narrower. So you want to check if you have narrower pieces. You want your, like my most narrow piece is 2 inches. So you want to make sure that the holes you punch are going to hold the paper in. I hope that makes sense. So 2 inches is my widest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center, which should be there. No, that's not right, Emily. There we go. All right, so there's my center. I want to line up, I want to make sure that I'm also in the center this way, right? So these rulers are great. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend it. I'll put a link in the description box below. Nobody's paying me to say that. I love this ruler because it also has markings every 1/8 of an inch this way. So I have that 1/8 of an inch line lined up right below my score line, okay? And then this is my center. So 2 inches is my widest. So I don't want to go that far, right? So I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch on either side of my center. Okay, and I'm just going to make little marks. All right, so then I can take my crocodile because that's what works for me, and I'm using the 1/8 inch mark because my eyelets are small. And I am just going to make sure that I sort of center my crocodile. You can kind of line that. It's kind of the perfect width to line up, you know, and obviously this doesn't have to be 100% perfect. It's not the end of the world, but try to get it as centered as possible. And then let's see. Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm okay. There we go. So fairly centered. I mean, it's, you know, it's good. It's fine. Okay, so now we need to mark and do our holes in our paper. So slightly trickier, but not impossible. I'm going to do kind of the same thing. So I'm going to find the center, which should be about here. That's not even the center. What am I doing? Oh, goodness. Okay. So there is my center. And I'm just going to mark right on the fold line. So 3/4 of an inch this way and 3/4 of an inch this way. Okay. And I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just holding these papers together while I do this. So, you can measure and be more accurate if you want, but that's not how I roll most of the time. All right. So just punch those holes. All right, now got little holes everywhere, hole punch pieces. Okay, so now we're going to line this up with our sock insert. And I'm going to use, I just have some mini gold eyelets. These happen to be Stampin' Up, but you can use whatever you have. I didn't buy these from Stampin' Up. I got them at a craft supply thrift store near me. So cool. All right, so I'm just going to put my eyelet in. These aren't quite long enough. If you can see there, they don't really stick out terribly far, but when you squish them with the crocodile, they hold fine. So just nice and strong squeeze there. So there we go. And it should be fine. Whoops. Oh no. Oh no. Did that shift? It did. Of course it did. Okay, so what not to do would be this. Don't do this. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to remedy that. This is probably not going to be usable. So yeah, anyway, what I would have done is put the other eyelet in here, but it's not. See, I can't move any of, well, maybe I can. Oh, wait, I did it. Yay. I didn't think I would be able to move it. Isn't it fun watching me make mistakes? Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's like the highlight of your day. Okay, so everything is just kind of janked. Let's see if we can carefully line everything back up. Okay, I think I did it. I think I did an okay job. It's not perfect, but I'm just going to force that eyelet through, even though it's not lined up perfectly. It's okay, not worried. Just glad I was able to kind of remedy that. Okay. Most mistakes are easily fixed. There we go. Okay, I think that's holding pretty well. So there's the inside, and then there is the outside. Okay, so then super simple. So you've got your little notebook in here, and obviously my pages are a little janky, but I don't mind. I'm gonna take, where is it? Oh, some just green, looks blue on camera, but it's actually green. Just some ribbon, just some satin ribbon. And I'm gonna go through from the inside out. So I think that's what I did. Yep. So just from the inside out on both sides. Make sure that that's laying sort of flat, you know, just not all twisted and crazy. So like that. And then on the outside, we're just going to tie a bow. And I'm going to hold that as best I can so it doesn't come undone, or not undone, but loose. I'm sure watching me tie bows is an experience. It's okay. All right. There we go. And then we'll just adjust that to whatever size we want. And then just cut the ends. Whoops. There we go. I need to clean my scissors. And there you have it. Super simple. Now I did, because it tends to want to open, I just added a bulldog clip here at the bottom. You could even hang something pretty from that, but there you go. Just a little notebook that you could give as a gift or add to a journal, whatever floats your boat. All right, now let's go on to this one. I think it's probably dry. So I'm going to very carefully fold this and just kind of help it along. Make sure that everything's sort of sticking. All right, there we go. I think it's doing pretty well. I think there's a squirrel outside my window. There's a little porch not a porch. There's a roof overhang on top of my porch, and it's right outside my window. And I think I hear a squirrel playing around out there. All right, so for this, you're gonna need another piece of paper that fits inside and is hidden. So about like this. So in this instance, I cut it to just shy of 6 1/4 and 2 3/8 wide. But just make it work. Whatever, whatever works. If you have a scrap that's a bit smaller than that, that's fine. And I'm going to ink. Do I have to ink? I don't know. Probably not. Where's my other one? Oh, there it is. I don't think, you really can't see anything inside there. And I inked it up so it's at least sort of dark, but you can't really see the paper. So I'm not going to worry about inking it up. So what you need is, I used a large paper clip. This one is almost 2 inches. And you need a piece of wax paper or something that it won't stick. So I'm just sandwiching my paper and my wax paper, and then my paper clip is going to go over that, like that. Okay. So now we can glue the paper and the paper clip on both sides to the inside of here, and the wax paper will keep anything else from sticking. Does that make sense? I think it does. I think it makes sense. So just make sure your wax paper is all the way to the top of your fold. And then what I normally do is I lay this down where I want it. Okay. And then I fold it because it's going to push that paper clip down a little bit. And then I just hold my hand where it ended up. Okay. So I'm just holding this where it ended up. And I'm going to add my glue. So I'm using Beacon 3-in-1 for this, but you can use, whatever glue you like for this type of project. So I'm just going to add my glue generously, close to the edge, but not, the wax paper will keep it from sticking, but you don't want like so much glue that, it's a mess, but make sure you have enough. Get glue on the actual paper clip itself and in the center and all the way right up against it, like so. That should be good. Just sort of spreading it around a little bit like that. Now we'll make sure that we're where we want it, and then just fold this down. And I'm just giving it a good press here. And then we can flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. But because you've already glued that first side down, right? It's where it needs to be. Okay. Just, I mean, the Fabri-Tac moves a little bit, so don't move it too much, but it should be in a good spot. So we're just going to do the same thing on this side. I love these paper clips. They're just so fun to make and easy. I think they're fairly easy, and they just look so cool. All right, then we'll fold this down, and I'm just gonna hold it for a minute. So I will cut away, and I will be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry really well before I take that wax paper out. Oops, we have some glue leakage. Okay, that should be fine. I got a little carried away. That's okay. Okay, so we'll just let this dry. If you want to put it underneath a heavy book or something like that, that might be helpful. But when it's all done, it will look like this. And that paper clip inside will just keep it on your page like that. And that's it, guys. I hope that you found that fun. I hope that maybe it inspired you to try something with a weird item in your stash that others might have thrown out. Maybe you used to throw them out and now you're like me and you keep everything. So I hope that was fun. If you need the template for this shape, you can find that link in the description box below. And I will also link the entire playlist for the Let's Play with Trash series at the end of the video. You'll find it up in the corner. And what else? Oh, I am having a Black Friday, Cyber Week sort of Etsy sale. Everything in my shop is 25% off if you spend at least $15. And any orders of $35 and more ship for free in the US. I don't currently have my shop open to international customers. So if you are in a different country and there is something in my shop that you are interested in, please just send me a message through Etsy and I can give you the appropriate shipping cost, and then we can kind of create a custom order for you. Etsy doesn't do a great job of calculating international shipping, in my opinion. It's always way higher than what it actually costs. So that's just the easiest way for me to do that. So anytime you see anything in my shop, even though it says that it's not shippable to your country, just contact me and we can work something out. Shipping is awfully expensive though. So, it might still be quite a bit, but we can at least figure it out. I'm going to be having a giveaway over on Instagram soon. So if you're not already following me on Instagram, you can find that link in the description box below. I think that's all. So I hope, if you are, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to add, this one I added some, wax, some copper kettle. This is Deco Art Metallic Luster. It's just some wax. So I just added that to the edges of this one, but you don't need to watch me do that, but you can, if you have that, great. If not, paint works. You could use a metallic marker, that kind of thing. Okay, so I think that's it. If you are in the States and you are celebrating Thanksgiving, have a wonderful time with your family, friends, however you're celebrating. If you're going out Black Friday shopping, be careful. I don't really do that. I have in the past, but it just always makes me so anxious. But anyway, if you are doing that, I hope you find some great deals. Otherwise, I will see you guys soon. Don't forget, Saturday is my A to Z of Christmas Craft collab video. So please, please check that out. I'm super excited about it. It's something a little bit different for me. So I hope you enjoy it. All right, guys, have a fabulous day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye for now.